Welcome to this Week Outdoors episode of the Business of the Outdoors. Today, we're going to be talking about, is what you are selling keeping you broke? My name's Rob Yates. This is...
Me, Mark Hopkins.
Who's you? Mark Hopkins. Hey! He's always with us. We're the founders of We Get Outdoors, and we help outdoor business owners grow their businesses or start a business from scratch. So, Mark, how did we come up with this title today around is what you are selling keeping you broke?
We have a podcast series called 6 in 16, where we get to chat to really cool outdoor businesses and their brains behind them. And it's fascinating. And Rob, we always have cool conversations before, then we record it, and then we catch up afterwards. And it's very, very interesting as we talk about the businesses, how they start, how they evolve, and possibly one of the biggest things that a lot of businesses out there miss or are focusing on the wrong thing. So we thought we'd share some of that today.
Now, what I'm about to say might sound a bit bizarre, but it's kind of linked to inside out or outside in thinking, really, isn't it?
Which we're quite good at.
Yeah. Are you starting inside your business to build something and then try to go and sell it outside? Or are you starting outside of your business with what people really want and need, and then finding a way of providing that from them inside their business? I guess that's the fundamental difference we see between outdoor business owners in that 6 in 16 interview series. Mark, what are you picking up in terms of who's most successful, with regards to this sort of a differing of approach?
I think a lot of it is individuals who are able to, or business owners who have been able to transition from the reason why they set the business up in the first place, which is normally their passion and their hobby, and have been able to transition into seeing it as an actual business. Those people who've been able to differentiate and disassociate themselves from the hobby have been able to make the leap. Those who are still holding on to their original concept, I think, are struggling with this.
Yeah, because it kind of feels like it comes down to it's almost harder to sell stuff that you want to sell than it is to sell stuff that people want to buy. And that sounds like a nuanced difference, but I think that's poles apart, isn't it? I'd like to take people whitewater kayaking all day, every day. However, there's a very limited supply of whitewater kayakers out there who've got the time and money to keep going whitewater kayaking all day, every day. So maybe what I want to sell may not be what people actually want to buy.
And whether you still have a wife at the end of it will be another question to consider. Do you know what's also interesting I've noticed with one of those differences between these types of business? The one-man bands, the sole props, they seem, and there's no science behind this, just through our engagements and interactions, they seem to struggle more to make that transition than outdoor businesses who have even two people thinking about the business. They seem to be yinging and yanging and challenging each other to make that leap, where sole props seem very reluctant and scared to make that leap, which is understandable.
Yeah, but also, the concept of groupthink, which happens in all sorts of, often in cults. A cult is a great example of groupthink, where we all convince each other what we're thinking is great and it's wonderful and everyone else is wrong and we're right. I actually think that that's really what happens inside of a one-man band, sole proprietor outdoor business as well, is because they don't get any external filters or challenges, they don't get their ideas and opinions really, they don't get to play tennis with anybody mentally to go, well, why aren't people buying this? What could be some of the reasons? And it's quite easy to develop thought when you speak outwardly to somebody else. But when you're mulling those questions over in your own head, maybe staring at a laptop or a piece of paper, it's actually quite a painful experience that often people would rather just ignore it and hope that somebody else, somebody does see the value in what you're doing and does pay you some money in the near future. But you never really take a big step forwards. And then asking for help is another thing. I mean, lots of people, myself included, actually on occasions, struggles to ask for help, which makes it quite a trap, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like a lot of those sole props, when you start talking to them, they don't put the phone down because they're quite lonely. And again, we see this in lots of times, like in all aspects, all businesses, all industries. You go and speak to some of the top CEOs that you and I have worked with, and they are desperate to engage with you and I because we are a safe space for them to bounce ideas off, because it's bloody lonely at the top. And it's really lonely. Not only is it really lonely running your own business in the outdoors, but my gosh, if you make one wrong call, there's only one person to blame. So it's bloody lonely and scary at the same time. So it's really understandable why they stick with what they feel most comfortable with. However, we both know it probably is the thing that might drive them to being broke.
That's it. And in my experience, the customer's experience is what brings them back over and over again. Yes, they might want to buy a piece of gear or go on a trip or have some coaching or whatever else. And all of those things are relatively easy to provide and source. However, the experience somebody has buying that from you and having that engagement with you is actually what they talk about afterwards. Like, I can buy a tent from 1,000,001 places. However, when I go to one of my favorite tent shops here in South Africa, Tent & Co., the experience I have and the way you're treated when you go to Tent & Co. makes you want to keep going back. You know, you're made welcome even if you don't spend money there and then, but eventually you do spend money. People know their stuff, but also it's not pressured. It's friendly. It's smiley. It's, oh, Mr. Yates, you're back again. Would you like a cup of coffee? How's the tent you bought from us 8 months ago? Whatever it may well be. And that is what makes me keep going back, because I've got, from where I live here, I've got probably 30 different opportunities to go and buy tents from 30 different establishments, all within a short 20 to 30 minute drive. However, I keep going back there because the way I'm treated, the way I'm respected, the friendliness and openness of it. And I wonder if we spend enough time in the industry thinking about it. Because if somebody feels like they're now part of your business's family and loved as a family member, they're going to keep coming back for more and more and more. If they feel like they improved, but the instructor didn't like them, or they didn't feel like the instructor liked them, maybe it's going to be they're not coming back, or maybe the process was too complicated and too clunky and too awkward to make you want to rebook. I think, Mark, you know, often if you think about a rafting company, for instance, you know, we're very proficient in the industry of having it dialed. You know, the customers turn up in their vehicle at your rafting base. They get out and you kind of marshal them through the process of signing the waiver, big smiles, high energy. Here's your dry suit. Here's your life jacket. Here's your helmet. This is how the raft works. This is how you paddle. A big lunch, yeehaws, thrills and spills, a beer at the end of the day. And that's great. But actually, and that customer experience level is great as well. But the customer experience actually started 8 weeks ago when they first looked at your website and thought, I may want to go rafting. And I wonder if we focus enough time on that 8 weeks leading up to it, and also the 8 weeks leading afterwards to turn that person into a repeat customer, an advocate, somebody who wants to bring their colleagues from work or anything else?
Yeah, I think so. Let's tell everyone what we're actually saying. What we're saying is be really clear on what you're actually selling, because the physical thing that a customer sees, touches, engaged with might not actually be what they're buying.
Can I share a little story?
No.
So I'm a pretty good coach, educator, guide, trainer, all that sort of stuff.
If you don't say so yourself, though.
Pretty good. I'm not excellent. I'm pretty good. And
I'm amazing, though, by the way.
You are. I've been flown all over the world for 15, 20 years to go and do those things. And there's equally a whole stack of other Robs out there who've got the same qualifications to deliver the same programs, the same certifications at the end of it.
Chiseled body,
hey?
Good look. They've got a chiseled body, good looks, healthy, don't cough,
no cold. That's it. All that stuff. No COVID, whatever I've got at the moment. Who knows? But I kept getting flown back to the same places year in, year out, year in, year out, year in, year out. It reached a stage where I'd have somebody turn up on a program, and I'm like, what are you coming back on this program again for? I saw you 12 months ago doing this program. You passed. Why aren't you doing the next one? And they're like, well, I thought about the next one, but I had such a good time with you last time. We laughed for 5 days straight. I just want to come and do it again. Is that okay? And I honestly think that repeat business, that people keep coming back, was because people, yes, they learned lots. Yes, they progressed. Yes, they developed. But they did it in an environment of having hilarious fun all day, every day, with massive smiles on their faces. And I think that is the reason why I kept being invited to go back places and why customers kept turning back up, is not because of my technical, tactical sort of knowledge and ability to improve people's performance. It was actually because I could do it and make it hilariously fun at the same time. And when somebody's going to take a week off work, a week of vacation time, or sacrifice a weekend with their family, of course they want to develop themselves, but do they really want to be bored stiff for the weekend or the days, or do they actually want to giggle? And I just, it's often not the what we give, it's the how that makes the what more important. Or makes the what more valuable. Because learning the ability to, in my case, to analyze somebody's canoeing and kayaking ability and improve it, that's relatively easily learnt in terms of a skill set and to go and do it. But to do that and make it fun, the how bit, make it really enjoyable, that's a whole nother level. And I honestly don't think that business owners spend enough time focusing on it. And I'm 100% convinced that that it's the barrier between being broke and not being broke.
Yeah, and there's some real simple, practical things you can do. You can get a pen and paper out and you can map your customer journey, the touch points on your journey. And you can set yourself a goal at each step of the journey in terms of what do you want that customer to experience. And a good tip I always give business owners is to do two things. Is to articulate what you want them to experience, and, which a lot of business owners forget, is what do you want them to do next? What do you want them to do next? Because that's the bit that you can now start influencing your business. And it's as simple as going and looking at your website, looking at your social media and going, is my content demonstrating the experience that somebody could have with my product? And I find so many businesses when I do all the research for our podcast and our 6 and 16, and I look at them and I can tell straight away which is a really super successful business, which is generating good money, and which is the business that is starting out or plateauing. And then you can speak to the business owner and it's, you can hear it in their voice and stuff. So it's really not difficult to do. It does take, like Rob, you articulated, it does take a different mindset, and it takes the ability to remove your desire to teach and add in your desire to entertain.
Yeah, you were talking about that customer journey there, and the piece I'd like to add into that is, at each point, how would you like the customer to feel? Because we know that people, I think some stupid statistic, but over 90% of people purchase on feeling first and fact second. Like, how do you want them to feel? And throughout their experience with you, how do you want them to feel? Laughter, challenged, happy, sad, reflective, introspective, extroverted. How do you want them to feel? Because all of those feelings, when they come together, if they're put together in the right way in almost a jigsaw puzzle, they actually equate to repeat purchases, future purchases, referrals, so on and so forth. And so how do you want people to feel? Because, when I've taken people rafting, and I've consulted to a few rafting businesses in the Austrian Alps, one of the things we do when people book is we send them a little promo video of all of the thrills and spills, of the rafts. So leading up to it, people are feeling a bit intimidated and a bit scared and a bit apprehensive. But we all know that once you've been rafting and you've had those feelings and you've got through the other side, you actually feel really confident, really big and really capable. So how do you want people to feel? For me, that really is the most important thing. And what do you want them to feel inside of themselves? But also, what do you want them to feel with regards to you? Of course, you want them to feel like you're a professional who's an expert. No worries. Your business is great at what it does. No worries. But what else? Do you want them to feel like you've become part of their friendship circle? Brilliant. Do you want them to feel like they're included in your community? Brilliant. But I think all of those things require quite a lot of thought. But I don't think, Mark, it has to require endless amounts of hard work.
No, and I think people will be listening going, how can you influence someone to feel something? And it's much easier than you think. You can't control people's thoughts, or you can't control people's behaviors. But purely by knowing what experience you're giving somebody, knowing why somebody would engage with you in your product, you can create a feeling inside them which aligns those two things. And you can do it as simply as sending them a video with a person who looks, acts, and behaves exactly like they do, because you know them so much. They can actually feel what it would be like to do it. There's so many things. And again, a lot when we talk about feeling, it's about engaging with as many senses as you possibly can in each touch point. And this is not hoodwinking people. This is just making people feel fucking, excuse me, French, but really cool and excited. I'm quite passionate about this.
I always say when I'm training guides and coaches and leaders in the outdoors, I always say that you need to have all of that technical, tactical knowledge that you've got about your area of the outdoors. It's almost like being a rocket scientist or a nuclear scientist. You need to have that going on at the back of your head. It's very important, it needs to be there. But at the front of your head, where people can see you, you almost need to be a kids' TV presenter or a clown in the circus. Here's one I've already made, and here's a great example, and I've got loads of energy, and I'm very enthusiastic, and still keeping all of that important technical, tactical stuff, but choosing a time to share it when it's right, as opposed to just sharing it the entire time, and forgetting the fact that possibly we need to be an entertainer first. And an expert second, or at least from the customer's perspective, maybe that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think it's a hard skill, but it's a skill that you can learn. Funny enough, I had, people find you on LinkedIn, and then you get these invites to connect. Today, and I'm just going to get this one right because it ties in, so I'm just going to go and have a quick look because I thought I'm going to share this in this thing. Okay, so this is an individual. Okay. And his job, he is a laughter ambassador, a laughologist, certified laughter teacher, and wellness facilitator. Now, this is what everybody needs to have on their job description. You know, if you want to be successful in the outdoors, you've got to look at your product as a mechanism to make people feel good. And then you need to sing not about the product itself. To be honest, yes, there are certain geeks out there who want to know all the intricacies of your product. But guess what? That is probably 1% of your target market. 99% of your target market do not give a shit how thick the stainless steel is. They do not care. So don't tell everybody how thick the stainless steel is because you're putting people off. Tell them what they can make with this stuff.
It was interesting that I've interviewed the guys from Duckworth, which is a Montana-based merino wool clothing business.
With a very good thumbnail.
Yeah, very good thumbnail. Folks, go check it out on YouTube. Go check out the Duckworth interview with the thumbnail. It put a smile on your face, especially if you're a middle-aged gentleman like myself and Mark.
It's feelings, though, isn't it?
It is feelings. But it's really interesting that they don't talk about the weight of their wool or the stitch that they use. They talk about American grown, so American sheep, raised sheep that are shepherded in the traditional manner still today from like 200 years ago in Montana in the mountains. They talk about how they go out and find the sheep because the sheep are left to roam and then bring them in for shearing. They talk about, made in the USA, so on and so forth. And that's what sells all their products for. I mean, they do have outstanding products. And if you hunt through their website, you can go and find all those technical things. But really, the people who buy their stuff want a made in the USA, made ethically, less sort of carbon footprint from, that a lot of merino wool clothing gets the wool comes out of New Zealand. It then goes to the Philippines or China, and then it goes to a distribution center in the United Arab Emirates, and then it gets packed on a plane to go to the customer in Canada or the United States. It's got this massive carbon footprint. So people are buying more for those things than anything else. I was even at a business once where you could actually go meet the sheep. How cool would that be? Like you're wearing your woolen jumper and you can go and meet, I don't know, Sarah the sheep, who's being sheared, who 2 years ago, you're wearing Sarah's wool now. I mean, that's fucking incredible. People want that stuff.
Well, imagine you go to a lekker braai and you're wearing, not in South Africa, because you never wear a bloody merino wool jumper, but let's say you're in somewhere, and someone looks at you and goes, that's quite a cool jumper. You're not going to turn around and you go, wow, you never know. This is this much for this. You're going to turn around and you go, yeah, it's cool. Hey, it's American made from Montana. You're going to tell the story behind your product. You're not going to tell the technical part of the product. And that's what you need to do as a business owner. You need to give, here's the Mark Pearls of Wisdom for this one. You need to package the story that you want your customer to tell the next time someone asks them around your product. If you cannot give a story for your customer to take out into the market, you are missing the oldest trick in business, which is referral business. Make a story, not for you, make a story for your customer. Boom, done. Thanks for coming. You can stop listening now.
That's it. When I used to sell expeditions to Scandinavia, I used to have the first paragraph of the marketing on the website used to say, the sun has just risen. You can hear a fire crackling outside of your tent, the water whooshing past.
Just
and
the fire crackling.
Yeah, the smell of fresh coffee and frying bacon is wafting through underneath your fly sheet.
Getting hungry and thirsty and I want to go to the bush. Stop it.
That's it. And today is only day one of your 7-day trip. on the Longman River system. You know, people are like, that's only day one. That sounds incredible. The rest of the days, their assumption is the rest of the days will be as good, if not better.
You're not a person, are you, really?
But that's what people are buying, isn't it? You know, you can go canoeing in a really shitty place somewhere with crap scenery, with no smell, no smells, no tastes, no nothing. You're still going canoeing. Or you can go canoeing and you can have fresh coffee coming through into your tent in the morning as you feel the sun rising onto the tent and the fire crackling and hear the canoes knocking against each other in the water. So maybe we need to become better storytellers as well.
Well, again, if you bring this back to We Get Outdoors, what does We Get Outdoors sell? We Get Outdoors sells a lifestyle.
Yes.
We sell the ability for any outdoor person to achieve the lifestyle that they want. That's the fact that we have products and mechanisms, and we sell the ability for any dad to be a superhero in their kids' eyes. That's what we sell. So if you're interested in having the lifestyle that you've ever dreamt about, if you want to go and take your kids on that family vacation that you've always wanted to, but never had the time or the capability to do it, if you want to take your kids to school every single day and pick them up and read to them before they go to bed so you get to enjoy your kids being kids before it's too late, then that's what we sell. We sell the ability to bring up your kids and be there for your kids 24/7, 7 days a week, 12 months a year. That's what we sell.
Yep. To have the time with your family that maybe your parents didn't have to have with you. I mean, that would be, isn't that incredible? There we go. So listen, here's the thing, Mark. If people are curious about how we go about doing that, they simply can jump on a call with us. Either they can book on one of our upcoming boot camps, which is for business owners to grow their business. There's a link for that below. You can obviously go and click like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and this video and whatever else. Or you can go and jump on a call with us if you want to go and ask us the questions about your business. We call it a solutions call, completely free of charge, to find out whether or not we can help you find that roadmap to take you from where you are now to where it is you'd like to be, the sort of lifestyle that you'd like.
So Rob, how would they want to get in touch with you? If they wanted to have a call with you, how would they do it?
There's a link in the description. They just need to go click on it and it will put time to one of Mark's or my diaries and book a time that works for you and that's available in our schedule and jump on. That's it. All online. Simple, easy, quick. And I guarantee that we will be able to solve at least one problem they're facing in their business during that conversation.
100% guarantee.
100% guarantee, at least one. For me, that's an hour gamble of your time, but to have a problem solved in your business, that's a really, really cheap way of using or really good way of using an hour's worth of time. So, go book on if you're interested. Or if not, just follow this series where each week Mark and I are going to be sharing with you a thought and some pearls of wisdoms around starting outdoor businesses, growing outdoor businesses, and achieving the lifestyle that we know you would like. That's it from me. Bye-bye.
Bye.